Welcome to I Can't Believe It's Not News with Beth and Elizabeth.
Hello, and welcome to I Can't Believe It's Not News, your very favorite podcast about fake news. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Beth.
And welcome to the show. And remember to follow us on Twitter at Podcast Fake News. Like us on Facebook and find us on Patreon and what else? Email. Yeah. Well, you can email us with show ideas at podcastfakenews@gmail.com. We're on YouTube and iHeartRadio and everywhere where you find your podcasts.
And you can check out our new pop screen. You can check out our new website at podcastfakenews.com and follow along the episode guide to see all the pretty pictures I put up along with the episodes.
I'm going without a pop screen today, Beth.
Are you? You're popping it?
Yeah,
You're feeling dangerous.
I know. I'm feeling risky today.
Feeling like a hurricane ripping through this podcast.
All my S's. I'll be sounding like a hurricane. On my pop screen.
So, speaking of hurricanes, I feel like one happened recently.
Yes. There was a terrible, devastating hurricane in Houston, as everyone is probably very well aware of. And that is where I am from. And
so a little personal for you.
Yes, it was a very difficult week. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit different for you than for me because, I mean, I've been to Houston, but I didn't live there.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have that personal connection with it.
Yeah.
So do you still have friends and family down there?
I do. I do have lots of friends and family in that area and in the East Texas area. So all up and down the coast. Lots of people, lots of suffering. And this episode is dedicated to the memory of Reuben Jordan, one of my high school teachers who passed away during the storm. He was attempting to rescue some people in his neighborhood, helping get some people on a boat, and he was swept away with the current and passed away.
Well, we are really sorry to hear that, but what a hero.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this episode is for him. What was his name again?
Reuben Jordan.
Thanks, Mr. Jordan. All right. So as with all natural disasters, what comes flooding in besides the rain?
Fake news.
Fake news,
and
of
misinformation. Yeah.
Hurricane Harvey did not let us down in the fake news arena.
So, I've just been thinking about what's going on and my friends and my family, and I've been so focused on this. I wasn't even thinking about the show until one day I'm looking on my Facebook feed and I see that someone has posted a photo of what is supposed to be a shark on the freeway.
That's not normal.
Yeah. Look, I know it's really humid in Houston. We do have very large bugs and things like that.
But not sharks on the highway.
Not this big, not this bad. And this was also up off Highway 290 where I used to live off of. And it is, Houston is not near the ocean. Just for anyone who doesn't know this, it is not close.
It was a lot closer than I thought it was, to be honest. I mean, not like a geography person. I don't study maps for fun. So I was a little surprised. I was like, oh, I didn't realize Houston was that close to the water, but it is.
Yeah, well, it's not close enough to ever have a shark there on its own.
What if are there aquariums in Houston? Could it have escaped?
That is just what I thought. There is this restaurant called The Aquarium, which to me it's just an awful idea. Like they have sharks, like big animals and fish. I just hate that idea of like these poor fish.
Yeah.
That for the rest of their life, they have to watch assholes dine on overpriced, bland food,
So I think the shark picture has really made the rounds. So a lot of people have probably already seen it and know already that it is fake. It was photoshopped. But Elizabeth did have some really good insight there that she understands where this is and how far that is from the ocean, and that it's just logistically impossible for this shark to have gotten to this area. He would have had to been like dropped by the hurricane 100 miles away, like
Sharknado.
Yeah, Sharknado, exactly. And that's tornadoes that usually pick things up and drop them, not her. I mean, I don't know. Like, I just don't. Yeah, this was, and they did a great job on the Photoshop. I mean, it looks like somebody's driving there. There's a shark. Like,
well, but that's also another thing when you're looking at the photo. Like, what is going on in this photo? This person is driving. Okay. And it's like they just put their phone outside of their window and there's the shark. Like, how high up is this water? Where is your car? What road is your car on that you're able to get this photograph? And also look at the sky. Like, the sky is actually pretty blue. It seems like it's kind of a nice day. And except for the shark attacks.
So there is what we're looking at on Snopes is they have a rundown. It's called Fake Photographs Hurricane Harvey Edition. And this one was the first one on there. And they actually have on here that they debunked this photograph in 2011 during Hurricane Irene, when it was shared along with a claim that it was taken in Puerto Rico. So it's popped up again in 2015, again in 2016, and now in 2017. Snopes is like, can you get new stuff, people? We're tired of debunking the same old shit.
Well, and you say, how hard is it for that shark to get from the ocean to 290 in North Houston? How hard is it to get there from Puerto Rico? Oh, yeah. My God.
Well, it does say that this image is actually a composite of at least two different photographs, is what they believe. So maybe it is a real picture of a shark, and that's why it looks so realistic on the shark side. Mm-hmm. And then a real picture of some flooding that somebody took. So who knows?
And then also it is, the background is showing a highway under construction with like a digger up on top and concrete pylons. And anyone who knows anything about the highways in Houston, and especially 290, knows that they are in a perpetual state of being under construction. So that rings very true.
Does it? Nice. Nice. Well, the next picture on here, first of all, let's just clarify. President Obama was president from 2009. He was elected in 2008, sworn in 2009, served 2 terms. So he was not president during Katrina. We'll just say that right up front. There was a photograph going around of him saying that he was serving food in down in Texas. And it's actually a photograph from 2015 of him and his family serving meals at a shelter, basically for Thanksgiving.
Look at this woman who he's serving this meal to. She looks so nice. Yes. She's in this really pretty, like, cable knit cream colored sweater with like a big
totally
towel.
Looks like a flood victim in Texas. Right?
Yes, in August, right? With her cable knit sweater.
Right? Yeah, for sure. Like, these people are dressed up for a holiday. It's cold in Washington, D.C. and Thanksgiving, so.
And he's in a long sleeve shirt, too.
Yeah. Yeah. And this, of course, is kind of a snub on Trump that, look at Obama doing good and you're Trump. But once again, liberal or conservative fake news is still fake. It doesn't help anything. So. You want to take the next one, that Houston airport?
Yeah, this one is bad. We're looking at an image of an airport, lots of commercial jets sitting on the tarmac, and it's flooded. The whole tarmac is flooded, and there's a city in the distance. And they're saying that this image is what the major Houston airport looked like. So this is not Houston.
Right.
Yes. You cannot see the city from that airport. And then also, like, there's this one poor, sad little, looks like a private jet just in the middle of the tarmac.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just thinking that its owners would not have left it there, you know, or the airport would not say, oh, yeah, you can just park that there while the water just continues to rise. It just doesn't seem very plausible to me. And also, it's a very nice day.
Well,
like
and at the end of the day, this photo isn't real. This is a composite. It's a mock-up for what LaGuardia could look like in the future with dramatic sea level changes. So it's not even a real photo no matter what.
Well, how quickly and dramatic would these sea level changes have to be to take this airport by surprise?
Right.
This is what it's going to look like on a daily basis when you park your private jet in the middle of the tarmac and the water is just too high.
Like,
well, that's
we didn't know what to do, so we just left the planes there. So this next one, this is a photo of an alligator, and this was shared by Katie Couric, and so this got some attention because
A2, Katie, A2.
I know. And as soon as I read this article, you know what I thought? From Maggie Farley. If your mother says she loves you, check it out.
That's the truth. Yeah.
It is the truth. So what happened was Katie got an email from a friend who lives in Houston, and she thought this was like a picture that her friend had taken or along those lines. So she trusted it. She posted it. And then people started saying that this isn't, from Hurricane Harvey. This is an older picture. And she was like, did I get punked? So she found out that somebody had sent that picture to her friend, who then sent it to her. And it's an older picture. It was an alligator on the street in Texas. And you said that there are alligators in the area down there.
Yeah, more of that's going to be a little bit further out towards East Texas and some of the more rural areas. But yeah, so I mean, it's definitely not outside the realm of possibility. But like the shark, that alligator would have had to have traveled quite a way to,
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Is there a restaurant in Houston that has alligators as well as sharks? Or is it just sharks?
Well, you can most certainly get alligator.
Do you think that would be a thing, like to have a restaurant with alligators like in cages?
Yeah. Oh my God.
You're like, yeah, actually that would probably work. Do you want to start a chain?
Well, okay. So there are alligators. So there's bayous, right? So there's probably going to be alligators, but I forgot there's a state park that's it's out east, and they have loads of alligators out there. So, who knows?
We're going to pitch this to Mark Cuban, the Alligator Tank restaurant. Just kidding. We're not going to do that.
I'm just shaking my head. No.
I pretty much could live my entire life without actually seeing an alligator and be fine. Yeah, I'd be good with that. So Katie got punked a little bit, unfortunately. So
we need a different word for that, for when you fall for a fake news story.
Ooh, let's think about that. Yeah. Listeners, send us in what you think that a good word for that would be. When you fall for a fake news story, share it.
Yeah, because that's not right. It's not right. I mean, she wasn't like trying to trick her. It was. Yeah.
All right, let's think on that.
Okay.
We want to hear your opinions. All right, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, so the next one is a store that is really looking bad. So some looters came into a store and did a lot of damage. And the text of this tweet that accompanies this picture says, "We out here, Corpus Christi, at the quickie store, where, cash and beer gone, but mad munchies left. Hurricane Harvey, hashtag Hurricane Harvey. Hashtag Harvey Loot Crew."
I see they left the Miralax.
Well, they'll get the beer going through their system. They're all right. And
they're terrified.
So this image, it says, is not related to Hurricane Harvey. It was taken by April O'Brien of the Huffington Post and shows a store that was looted after Hurricane Sandy. So this person is just making this up with the grammatical errors and everything.
So I think once again, like it's sad, but in this day and age, you have to Google image search your pictures that you're seeing come across to make sure that they're actually from where people are saying they're from. Mm-hmm. And that's what Katie Kirk didn't do, trusting it. So if your friend sends you a photo, check it out.
And I'm sure there's looting in Corpus Christi, and I'm sure there's looting in Houston. It's, it's going to happen. It's just this particular one is not true. Yeah.
Same thing. Next one. It's a photograph showing 3 people using a refrigerator as a makeshift boat.
Mm-hmm. Poor kids.
Which breaks your heart. It's a photograph that definitely tugs on the heartstrings, and you just feel really bad for this family. And
the look on that man's face, it just looks like
his 2 children are in an open refrigerator, and he is pushing it down this like flooded waterway. Yeah. Now, this again is a real picture, but it's not from Hurricane Harvey. It was taken in April of 2016.
Still
after
in Houston,
heavy
though.
rains. Yeah, after heavy rains hit the Greens Point area of Houston. So again, it's a real picture, but wrong weather event. So yeah. And then I think the last one we should talk about is the last one on here, which is this kind of beautiful picture. We both kind of like it. I'm like, I could hang that on my wall, but it looks really fake.
Oh, you missed Trump.
Oh, I was going to skip it.
Oh, okay. This like beautiful picture hang on the wall. I'm like, ooh, okay.
Gross. Sorry, I was telepathically telling you that. I'm going to just skip Trump's tweet thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking about it. So it's just, they like made up a tweet, and they didn't even like do the tweet face right. Like it's a square and not a circle, and whatever. And
basically they took 3 tweets of his and combined them into one. And it's just basically them making fun of Donald Trump, which is super easy to do. And I totally get it.
Yeah. So, but the next one, the beautiful picture is allegedly Hurricane Harvey rolling in, taken from a cargo ship 90 miles out from Corpus Christi. And it's probably a digitally created photo. It looks like something out of that George Clooney movie, The Perfect Storm or Deep Impact or something like that. And you're looking at it, and you just can kind of almost hear the foreboding music starting to crescendo, and you want to say, run, cargo ship, run.
I know. I was just thinking, if this was real, there is no way that those people survived to get this photo back to the internet.
Why were you there?
Yeah.
Don't you have weather and reports? Get out of there. No. So
it looks like something that was made for a movie for sure. It's definitely a beautiful picture. Like it's like when nature in its destruction is almost beautiful,
Yeah. So,
yeah. So those are some of the fake pictures and things that are going around. And there's actually one more that we want to talk about, which this one just kind of warms my heart a little bit, especially since you pointed out this one little detail about it. So this is another Snopes article, and it's called, "Did Trump Assist Rescuers in Pulling Harvey Victims from Floodwaters?" A doctored photograph appears to show the president on a raft in Texas saving a flood victim.
In order to save a flood victim, he would have to be in the presence of a flood victim in Texas, and that hasn't happened.
Right. So you have to point out what you noticed. So he's reaching out to this guy who's hanging on to a fence, like in floodwaters, and they're in a raft.
They're in a raft. And he's got, like, Donald Trump has like some like really serious looking dude behind him in like serious gear, and they're in this black raft, and the water's all choppy, and Donald is in his suit and a purple tie, but so
you can't see the bottom of because it's way too long.
Yeah. the whole image is just absurd. The whole premise is just absolutely absurd.
Absolutely.
No, people are believing that. People are like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Donald. And so when you first look at it, you think like maybe he's handing him like some kind of like a handkerchief or a bandana or something to
like
just
a flag or like,
something just to reach out so he can grab on and then get pulled onto the raft with him.
Right.
And I said, no, that's a MAGA hat. That is absolutely a MAGA hat.
That is absolutely, it's a red. It is shaped like a baseball hat. when you said it, I was like, oh my God, it is. It's a MAGA hat. Like, that is hilarious. Like, he's not reaching out to save him. He's reaching out to give him a hat and then he's going to leave.
That's what I think that's what this person is about. Yeah.
So this is a digitally altered photo. The real photo, you can see the two rescuers reaching out to actually rescue this man, and they do have his hand. So that one honestly made me laugh. I think if that was done as satire and was marked as satire, I would totally be fine with it.
Mm-hmm. We should email Snopes.
Yeah.
And just like point this out to him.
Yeah, we should. You're right. Because it just said he's President Donald Trump leaning over the side of the raft, reaching out to a stranded flood victim. You're right. We have to do that and be like, nope, sorry. He's trying to hand him a MAGA hat. Oh, this one just kind of makes my day. Okay. So
real quick before we go on to the next one.
Yeah.
This is not going to make your day. I read in a Washington Post article, they were talking about the people who had to evacuate their homes. Just in a moment, they had to grab something and leave.
Yeah.
What do you grab?
Oh.
Right? Like, what's that, that question, what do you take? I'm sure you've thought about it. Like if
my computer and my podcasting microphone, what do you mean? What would I take?
Right.
I'd have to podcast from somewhere else.
So these people, they're talking about their choices. And this one woman said, I almost brought my Trump sign because I heard he was coming to the shelter.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then, so she's talking to this reporter at the convention center. She says, well, he's not coming. So I guess it's okay that I didn't bring it. Like, yeah, I guess that's okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. My jaw was just on the ground anyway. So
yeah,
because he's out rescuing this guy, lady.
Right. He doesn't have time to come to shelters, and
he's out doing personal water rescues.
I'm sorry. I just have to say this. So today it's been all over the news. So we're recording on the 2nd. It's Saturday. So you're not going to hear this for a week, but this has been today all over the news, is that he told some people, like, have a good time as he was leaving the shelter. Like,
he was at a shelter today? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. He was at a shelter today, greeted some people, met with some people, and told them to have a good time as he left.
Wow. As of a few days ago, he hadn't mentioned the people who died. He hadn't, hadn't told people to donate to the Red Cross or anything like that.
There was another, I know this isn't fake news, this actually happened, but I'm going to mention it anyway. He met with some Coast Guard today and was on video saying, you guys have rescued 11,000 people. You've gone into places that the media won't even go. Like, what the fuck? You're
like the water.
What does the National Guard rescuing people have to do with the media going? Like, he was saying that, like, the media is bad because they didn't go rescue 11,000 people like the Coast Guard did.
Well, I saw actually the media with the Coast Guard at a lot of rescues documenting that. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And the media has been rescuing people. I mean, they've been amazing. And it blew my mind that he is so focused on that this war that he has with the media, that he's going to bring it up in every situation possible.
It's psycho. It's
I mean,
strange. Yeah.
Yeah. He's nuts. Anyway, want to talk about this next one? We've got more. We've got lots of fake news today.
The hits just keep on coming. So we got another meme, and this is a meme that says that 4 major hurricanes have hit the United States on August 29th across 12 years, forming a meaningful pattern. And so, yeah, Katrina 829, Gustav 829, 2008, Katrina 2005, Gustav 2008, Isaac 2012, and Harvey 2017. So
is that like a pattern, like a wallpaper pattern? Like you could like wallpaper your
I don't know. I don't know how that's meaningful. I don't know if that's supposed to be like some sort of supernatural thing. Like I don't know what the point of that is, but even if it was, it's not right. Like it's just basically wrong, you know? And so
the basic premise that all these hurricanes made landfall for the first time on August 29th is untrue, even for Harvey. So that's not true at all. And they also point out that this is basically hurricane week. Like the last week of August, first week of September is the major week for hurricanes. That's why you're seeing them consistently around this time period. So all 4 of those hurricanes were happening on August 29th of those years, but it was like the week around.
Yeah. And it's such a geocentric thing, you know, like, oh, when did it first make landfall in the U.S.? Well, I mean, okay, so one of them devastated Cuba before it came here, but the U.S., when did it come here?
Right.
You know, it's and even if they all did hit the U.S. on 829, who gives a shit?
Yeah. It's literally like,
so what am I supposed to do with that? Like, not be on the coast on 829, you know? I guess, okay. Schedule my vacation for.
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to scare you so that in the following years on August 29th, you're really scared of a hurricane happening.
Out of the blue.
Yeah, out of the blue, no weather service, nobody to warn you. By the way, you don't live in a hurricane area. Yeah.
Yeah, no, people get scared. So
they do.
Yeah.
They do. So another one that we found, so I'm sure everybody has heard about Joel Osteen and the whole, was his church flooded? Was it not? Did he, should he have opened it? Should he have not? And we took a look at all that and just kind of decided that it wasn't really fake news.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of things circulating about churches. Mm-hmm. So this one, and this is another Snopes article. I think we have to this episode is like Snopes Central because there was just so much good stuff on there. But it says only 60 of 1,566 churches in Houston opened to help Hurricane Harvey victims. ? A meme claiming that only 4% of churches in Houston opened their doors to Hurricane Harvey victims appears to have originated on a satire Facebook page and was not based on any legitimate statistics. So it kind of looks like an Occupy Democrats meme when you look at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it kind of follows their pattern. It has their colors that they use a lot. Mm-hmm. And it ends with the let that sink in for a moment. And that's something really common that they'll put at the bottom, like, think about that, or, that kind of thing. So it's almost like they were copying Occupy Democrats to, give it that kind of feel to it. But there's been a lot of mocking of churches, and there's even a fake thing going around on Twitter right now about some Muslim churches and that they refuse to take people in, and it's just all BS.
Yeah, I think I'd heard during the whole Lakewood Church fiasco that there were mosques that were open that were taking people in, but Lakewood Church wasn't. And that was this criticism of Lakewood. And, you know, I don't know what the truth is. At first I was defending him, Osteen,
yeah.
And I'm not a fan. And but I said, well, I could see how, you know, if it's unsafe to get there and, you know, they're not ready and they have water inside, that it might be a bad idea. And maybe we shouldn't be rushing to judgment on this. And then it kind of came out that, no, there's not water inside. No, it's actually kind of dry around here. You know what? We're actually going to open our doors. And then he does an interview on Today saying like, well, no one asked us to open. And I mean,
nobody should have to.
Yeah, I don't know. So I personally feel, if anyone is interested, that you shouldn't get all the tax breaks that churches get just because you're a church.
Yeah.
I feel like you should be obligated to like have a certain percentage of your efforts go towards charitable stuff. That's just my opinion.
Do you remember that episode that John Oliver did where he created a church to get tax exempt status?
Oh,
do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. Gosh, of course. That I remember all like the weird stuff that he got people sending in.
I know. I love it when he does stuff like that. That's so awesome.
Great.
So definitely more churches than 4% of the churches in Houston opened their doors. There was people just helping out everywhere.
I'm sure. You know, I get what they're trying to do, but I just really think that the spirit of the people wanting to help each other is going to come through. And this is just, there's no way that's true.
And this one was on a satire site, so I don't think it necessarily was.
But it's not funny. That's not.
You know what? You're right. It's not funny. So I didn't read the article that if there was an article with it or if it was just a meme. But you're right. It's not funny. So yeah. And satire is supposed to be jokes. Mm-hmm. So unless there was something more to this that we're not getting here, I'm gonna rate this a not funny.
Yeah, you're doing a crap job, satire site.
Yeah,
you need to satire better.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. That's a saying. That's for a plaque. Satire better.
So the next one, I just got to say that there is a special place in hell for people who put out fake weather forecasts for hurricane tracking.
Did this not blow your mind? Like, really?
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't heard of it before, actually, frankly, with other storms. But I don't know, maybe people were doing it. I don't know if they were, but here we are. This is a thing. There are people making up web pages that are showing incorrect tracks for Hurricane Irma's path.
Right. So we have two stories here. One's from Raw Story and one's from The Hill. I did look both of them up at the Media Bias Fact Check because we haven't really reviewed a story from them before. And they both did get a mixed reporting from them, but they weren't, these stories that they have out are super fact checkable. And I went and I clicked on and saw the actual Twitter pictures on Twitter. So I feel like this is true and that we can share this without any worries that this is fake. So the first one from Raw Story says Hurricane Irma's pathway, beware of fake weather forecasts. And this one, what it is it's a picture showing, it says, as of Friday evening, the storm Irma is classified as a hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour. It was traveling 13 miles per hour in a west-northwest direction, but there were no watches or warnings in effect because Irma is still so far out in the Atlantic Ocean. And basically, the 5-day forecast is showing that it's not even going to get close to the islands in the tropics until Tuesday. But there was this fake photo on Twitter that showed Irma making landfall in Florida on Thursday evening, something that didn't happen, and then moving up the coast of Florida.
That little image looks like something that you would see. Like, it's just perfect, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it looks like the coast, and, you know, with your little red hurricane eye, how they do on the weather maps when they show it. So
yeah,
you'd look at that and say, oh, sure. Yeah.
And then the other one from the hill, this one is another one showing. So the NWS, the National Weather Service, put out a tweet that showed this kind of, it said, keep your eyes out for fake forecasts. This is what an official NOAA advisory looks like. Note, forecast only goes out 5 days. So I guess that was one thing that they were seeing, is that they were doing the days out more than 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so this one says, everyone needs to pay attention to Hurricane Irma. She's predicted to come through Mexico, hit us, and everything in between up to Houston. She's already Category 2 and hasn't even gotten into warm water yet. So this one was showing poor Houston getting hit again.
Man.
My goodness. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, you're a Houstonian. You've lived through hell. You might not be processing and thinking correctly. You're stressed out, and you look at something like this, and it's just, you know, not going to be something that you're thinking right about. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And a lot of people, were getting their news and their weather updates and everything from Twitter, that were stranded, or that was the only thing they could get on. I saw some articles about people saying, hey, you know, don't use the hashtag for Houston. That's for people to get updates. Don't use it for thoughts and prayers, and don't do that. And one of my friends had posted something about this lady who had lived through one of these big storms was saying, don't use those hashtags. She's like, when I was stranded, I was trying to get any information I could get on where to go, where shelter was, weather updates, anything. And I was getting flooded with thousands of my thoughts and prayers are with you. And she had a really good point. She said, that wasn't for me. That was for you.
Mm-hmm. Wading through thoughts and prayers like you're wading through toxic floodwater.
Right, exactly. So it was kind of I was like, oh, I'd never thought about that. Like, that's really true, though. You got to leave those hashtags alone. So then put the fake crap up.
Yeah. I remember you told me, or when you told me about that story that you just related, I was telling you about the meme that I saw that was so hilarious. It was a picture of two cats lounging like outside, and that says, I named my cats Thoughts and Prayers because they're so useless.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's awesome. Yeah. So anyway, low. Please don't make fake weather memes. You're not a meteorologist. Stay out of it.
So lastly, but not leastly.
Not least at all.
Oh, man. This is awesome. I'm so stoked that you found this. This is so great. And, you know, Beth, I'm gonna let you describe this.
You know what? I want to start with, has anybody ever heard of climate engineering?
Because that's a thing. You know?
It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's real. Okay, so climate engineering, which is commonly referred to as geoengineering, and this is on the Wikipedia site for climate engineering, also known as climate intervention, and it's the deliberate and large-scale intervention in the Earth's climatic system with the aim of affecting adverse global warming. So there's two types that fall into this category. It's carbon dioxide removal and solar radiation management. And basically, the scientists are trying to figure out one solution for combating climate change. This would be like in conjunction with other things in regards to carbon dioxide removal and solar radiation management.
So it's probably not something that's really happening too much. And because it seems from this Wikipedia article that this is very difficult. And it's,
yes,
they're trying to solve a problem that we
I do love how it says some carbon dioxide removal practices, such as planting trees. It took scientists to figure that out. Like, I mean, in the beginning, yes, but like, isn't that kind of like just like super common? Like, maybe we should plant some trees.
Well, but so here's this idea, like how can we use science to solve a problem, and then people get freaked out and scared because they don't understand, and they're probably thinking freeze ray guns and things like that. And, and so what do we have? We have Geoengineering Watch, which is a website here. Here's an article. It's from August 30th, 2017. Engineered client cataclysm, Hurricane Harvey. And this is by Dane Wigington. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. I didn't run his website through any of my fact checkers. I didn't do any of that. I'm not going to debunk his theory because you know what? I don't have to debunk crazy. He's the one who has to prove this. I'm not the one who has to disprove it. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Exactly.
One of my favorite quotes.
So this guy claims, this is what he wrote. And you know what? I'm going to tell you this. All these conspiracy theorists, they always have a fucking video. And they won't detail what's in the video in the article. So then you have to watch the video. So I watched the video. I'm trying to take some notes, and I'm like, it's fucking crazy. Like right from the get-go. And I was like, I'm not listening to this multiple times. So I'm just like taking notes as fast as I can. But basically, what this guy is saying is that, okay, I just have to read it here. First of all, he said there's been a 12-year drought of hurricanes in the U.S. Now, we already know from our other meme that we talked about with the hurricanes that happened on August 29th. That's not true. So... And there's even more hurricanes than have been on that meme.
Yeah.
That there's basically a hurricane every year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's okay. So hurricanes are named alphabetically, right?
Yes.
And so it just keeps going. That's why we had Harvey and then Irma.
Yes.
So just through that, I mean.
So I pulled up the hurricane archive. And there were 4 hurricanes in 2015. For some reason, 2016 isn't on here. I don't know what's up with that. That year,
conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but they just don't want me to know, right? Total deep state. God, these figures. 2014, there were 6. In 2013, there were 2. 2012, there were 10 hurricanes.
Oh my gosh!
Sandy was one of them that year. Yeah. 7 in 2011, 12 in 2010. You get it, right?
Yes, so there's been a lot. There's no 12-year drought of hurricanes in the U.S. Yeah. So basically what he is claiming is that Hurricane Harvey is the result of climate engineering. So some scientists went out and planted some trees and caused a hurricane. So he says, and like I said, I only listened to the video once. That was all I could do. I was typing furiously. He said microwave transmissions from Brownsville, Texas, kept Harvey in check as it was guided onto the shore. And powerful frequency transmissions kept it out of the north. And the reason why forecasters knew about its path, not science, not meteorology, it's because they're given a script. Because everybody knows what's going to happen ahead of time because this is climate engineering. And he said that there's like a gag order on Nova.
Like the PBS show?
Like, yeah, well, he was naming all these things, and I was trying to type them really fast, but like all these weather agencies, anybody connected.
NOAA.
Okay.
Okay.
So that there was a gag order on all of these agencies, and this is an agenda, many agendas being carried out by governments. And how will this hurricane help to cool the U.S.? That's the real question, because climate engineering is about combating climate change. So this hurricane must be playing a part in that.
Oh my God, it is going to be so hot and humid and gross in Houston. Oh, it's going to be awful.
But I don't think that, that's the point. I don't think that Hurricane Harvey was created by the government.
This is
in order to combat climate change.
These conspiracy theorists give so much credit to the government.
So much credit. Donald Trump hasn't even staffed the government. How can they be pulling up these conspiracy theories like a whole fucking hurricane?
And you're going to dispense scripts to all of these meteorologists at news organizations.
And they're never going to say anything.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be the biggest scoop of ever if this was going on and a news organization isn't going to capitalize on that? God damn.
So at the end, he says that he calls for credible data so that they can join with the climate change scientists and save the world. Is basically what his goal is that he's saying we have to have really credible data. We have to be really credible. I was like, you kind of lost me at microwaves from Brownsville.
Okay, everyone make your burritos at the same time. We're going to triangulate with microwaves in Cuba.
Hi, just do it. 2 minutes, 32 seconds.
But it's going to blow up if I put it in there for that long.
Just do it.
So save the world.
I know you have to save the world with your microwave. Oh my God. It was that theory. It made me remember and think back to our episode with Dr. Jolie when we talked to him about conspiracy theories and about how sometimes they're a shortcut for a complex world, that big events must be explained by something equally as big. And so in order to explain hurricanes, it has to be a government conspiracy to combat climate change. I mean, that makes sense, right?
Man, this guy wants money. He's got a place to donate. He's got 20-page fact and photo booklets, a DVD, an indictment book, all kinds of stuff. But my favorite part about this website is the comments.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the comments are awesome. So there's this one from today that says that during the past year, we on the Gulf Coast of Florida received letters from FEMA advising us that we should consider flood insurance. I told my son then that this was the deep state letting us know that they were planning something.
Yeah. Why? The deep state, the CIA, is it
And they're warning you, get your flood insurance.
The CIA is I'm going to make these people get flood insurance. What the fuck? I'm going to tell you something about flood insurance really quick. It loses money every year. Mm-hmm. It's deeply in debt.
Yeah, that's why the government does it.
Well, that's why the government does it. But the flood program with the government has never broken even or been able to cover the claims. So
maybe that's why they're trying to get everyone to buy it.
That's what I'm thinking. This actually makes sense now, is that the CIA is trying to the deep state is trying to drum up some more people sending in their premiums to help cover this Hurricane Harvey that they knew was coming. Oh, see, now it all makes sense.
But then why are they reaching out to this woman in Florida?
Because she's not going to file a claim, Elizabeth. That's how insurance works. You got to get those premiums, baby. Come on.
Not from the people who are filing the claims. Yes,
right. They need to cover the other people.
Anyway, so it does go on to say, I am curious if the Texas Gulf Coast received similar quote unquote warnings from FEMA.
Yeah, I think they did. And only 15% of people have flood insurance. And
when
everybody
the deep
else
state is talking, you better listen.
Yeah. when you get flood insurance pamphlets, that's actually not propaganda. That's actually just like, you might live on a floodplain and you need flood insurance. Floods can happen even if you don't live on a floodplain, FYI. I like the one that says, I just looked up the meaning of the names of the current hurricanes. Hurricane means god of storms. Harvey means battle or war. Irma means world. So this is a battle for the world with the god of storms. No.
Yeah. What are you trying to tell me? I don't know.
Yeah. Like these names are like generated from a name generator. like the weather service isn't like,
yes.
Oh, I like this one. Harvey means battle or war. And that fits in with our nefarious plan of doing this with microwaves in order to combat climate change. Perfect. What should we do for I? Irma means world, and we are trying to take over the world.
God, it's like you're there, Beth.
Yeah, don't give away where we actually work, Elizabeth. Might be the weather service. Yeah, geoengineering watch. Mm-hmm. Well, guys, that is our wrap up of the fake news from Hurricane Harvey.
Yeah. More to come, I'm sure, but yeah.
So just remember to image search. You know, that's a really good tool if you come across that photo.
And remember to donate money to the relief effort. You can donate to Red Cross, some of the major organizations like that. You can also donate to some local organizations, maybe find a food bank or animal shelter. You know, there's all sorts of different places that have need right there on the ground that are going to be helping people out.
I heard that Franklin Graham and Joel Osteen are raising money through their charity, Sacred Heart.
No.
Oh, not that one?
No, I'm telling you, no.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I'd probably skip that one too. Just go with the traditional one. So there are a lot of things that circulate about which charity you should give to.
Yeah, like the Red Cross, like people were kind of saying, oh, well, they've mismanaged some money in different storms previously, but they were saying on Pod Save America, which I heard today, which I totally agree with.
Same thing.
Yeah, they have the organization, they have the know-how to do the triage in the very early days, and they're the first responders. Very helpful right now in these critical first days, and so I'm going to be donating to Red Cross personally. Yeah,
I think it's worthwhile. Even if they've had a few hiccups in the past, or, even though their people actually make money, like their leaders actually get a salary. But there are going to be a lot of local charities that are going to need support for years to come. So, yeah. Well, everybody, thanks for listening today. And we hope that you stay safe if you're in a hurricane path.
Oh, my gosh, of which there are several.
Oh, and every single person listening is in a fake news path. That's for sure. So stay on top of that fake news by following us at Facebook and Twitter at Podcast Fake News.
You can email us any of the fake news links that you find at podcastfakenews@gmail.com.
Subscribe on any of your podcast apps or YouTube, wherever you want. It's up to you.
Check us out on Patreon. We're everywhere. Everywhere.
So until next time,
spread jam,
not lies.